This is Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Darren Hann. Welcome to Pocket Universe. We are coming to you today from Heroes and Hobbies. On today's show, we have Phillip Guy from Noble Miniatures, Justin Foley Entertainment, and Peter and Jesse from Distorted Theorists. Stick around. Welcome to the show, Phil Guy from Noble Miniatures. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us all about Noble Miniatures.
Well, it's a tabletop miniature game store. So basically I sell a product up front, but in the back I have a huge gaming area so that people can come in and play their different games. They collect their armies, put them together, paint them, and then they have complete games to play with them. So I supply all that area so the guys can do it. A really good community.
Now, tabletop games, does that include board games, or are we talking about the ones with the little figures and the landscapes? Just explain it a little bit more.
So I allow customers to come in and use my back area if they want to play board games. I have no problem with that. But
Yep.
mainly my tables, which are 6 feet by 4 feet or 8 feet by 4 feet,
Yep.
are designed for the miniature war games. So it is the ones where the guys put together model toy soldiers, model
Okay.
tanks, and they put those together, and it has the terrain. So I've got all the 3D terrain out there, everything like that. So the guys actually have the table set up ready to go.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to get involved with that, do you have like a league, or is it just that you have to buy the figures and make them and paint them, and then you join a group, or is it something that, how does someone go about? Like,
So over the
getting
summer, I'm having demo days for everybody of
Okay.
all the different games I'm doing, so that people can learn how to play each one of my games depending on what they're interested in. And then after that, I start what's called an Escalation League. So
Okay.
to make the game fair, they have points. So sort of like the way that if you have a weak person, they're going to cost a small amount of points, but if you have like a big tank, it's going to cost more. So the game is balanced whenever you play it.
Okay.
So what I do is called an escalation. So the guys start with small amount of points, then more, and then up to the maximum. And it takes 4 months. They play one game in that month. During that time, they paint their models, they get them put together, and then the guys come out and they have a full army, and they get to meet brand new people that they've never played before because we arrange who they're playing. And afterwards, they have a full army ready to go and everything. So I offer the whole kit and caboodle with painting classes, how to assemble, how-tos for everything, essentially.
that is amazing. Is there a time frame for the games? Like, are some of them based? You mentioned tanks.
Yeah.
So are they all like military, or are they? Is there different like time frames or different universes or anything like that?
So the miniature war games go all the way back to medieval times. So they actually go back to one of the games called Age of Sigmar, is based upon knights, dragons, sorcerers, wizards, that sort of stuff. So it's where you're collecting armies of elves or goblins or knights, and you're
Right.
playing those against each other. And they go all the way to Warhammer 40,000, which is actually the year 40,000. So it's set way in the future with spaceships, and it's got the futuristic hover tanks and stuff like that, and then space elves at that point. So
Space elves.
yeah.
That's neat. Okay. Is there like a minimum age to play it?
On average, we recommend 12 to 14. The reason for it is because you're putting together models. So you're dealing with glue, you're cutting, you're basically dealing with very finesse things that you could break off the pieces and stuff. Now, I have had younger, I've had all the way back to 8 years old, but I've had a parent with them at all times doing it. So we run them through it and we show them how to do it that way.
So when you go, if someone got interested into it, is it a game that you buy first, or do you buy the figures, or like what's the opening steps? So
So the opening steps is most of the games have starter sets, and they normally range for the very beginner starter sets. They range for about $50, and they go all the way up, of course, like
Right.
any company would sell anything.
of course.
But in that, it comes with, normally it comes with 2 different factions. So if you want to play, you have a rival person to go against immediately. It comes with rule books, so you know
Okay.
how to play. And then it comes with short missions of start here, play this mission first, and then this and this and this. And it goes through each of the steps individually.
Each of the steps
Yeah.
individually. Now you say the little figures. How large are we talking?
For an average infantry figure, you're talking about 1.5 to 2 inches tall.
Okay.
They do go smaller. They go down to 1 inch and smaller. It depends on the scale, but on average, it's about 1 inch to 1.5 inches is the average height of a model.
And all the figures, they come unassembled and unpainted.
Yeah, it's just like putting together a model tank you would have picked up at the old hobby stores back
Oh,
in
like,
the day.
like model kits like that?
Yeah, so they
Okay.
come on sprues,
Yeah.
and you cut the pieces out. You pick out what arms you want to put on them. You pick out what weapons you want to give them, because
Okay.
in the games, the weapons you equip them with cost different points, because if they're powerful, they're going to cost more points and weaker. So you literally customize your entire army start to finish.
So would you do that before you got the game? Like, so if I got a little guy and he's got so many weapons, would I pick the weapons based on the game, or am I just putting him together hoping that the game is going to...
So no, normally whenever you get the models for the starter kits, it'll tell you what way to put them together. And
Okay.
normally they're push fit to get you introduced to the hobby, so you don't need glue and stuff like that. You can put them together,
Okay.
push them together, and you're ready to play right out the gate.
Yeah.
As you get further in, there's rule books for each of the armies you play.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're playing bolt action, which is World War II, you can get a British book, you can get an American book, you can get
Yeah.
like a Japanese book, and it will tell you what weapons you can have for each one of those units that you take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so okay, so we got the figures covered. Now what would you call the equipment, or the ships or the boats and the tanks and that? Is that a kits that you put together
Oh, yeah.
also?
Yeah, it's complete same. So you can have tanks with bigger guns on it. You can have tanks with less guns. You can have them shoot multiple bullets. You can have them for laser cannons to be able to shoot other tanks off the board. It's
Okay.
all customizable completely, and that's the whole point of the hobby is we could have the exact same army. We could be both playing, one of the main ones is called Space Marines, and we
Right.
could both be playing them. But you might like playing tanks, and I might like playing infantry, so
Right.
my army's going to be completely different than yours.
That's right, yeah, you
Yeah.
know, it's based on the same
Yeah.
thing. Excellent. So what, is there a skills, like a skill set to it, or a skill level? Like, I know you mentioned the ages and that, but is there like, are there more advanced games, or are they all like at the same level for experience?
Some of the games, Infinity is an example I'll use for it. It's based, its models are very manga-like looking.
Okay, yeah.
That game is one of the smallest model count for a game, so one of the cheapest ones to get into, but has the most complex rules.
Oh, wow.
Because if you do something, my guys can react to what you do.
Right.
Whereas in most of the other games, it's my turn, your turn, my turn,
Yeah.
your turn. This one is cool. You moved across between two buildings. I'm going to shoot you as you run between those two buildings, and
Right.
you use dice to resolve the results.
That was my next question. How do you advance the game? So you use dice?
Yes, it's all dice-based. All the games that I currently sell are dice-based. There is some that are card-based, and we're talking like 52 card, like normal playing cards, and you pull them out and they give different rules.
Okay.
But all the games currently I sell are dice-based, and whether they're normal D6s, so normal
Yep.
six-sided dice, or they're proprietary dice, so that they have unique symbols and stuff on it, depending on what they use.
So on the board itself, are there markings on the board so that they advance so far? Because I remember one time I seen the game being played, and the guys rolled the dice, and they actually had like a measuring tape or a ruler or something, and they counted so many
Yeah.
sections or something.
So some of the games use measuring sticks. Crisis Protocol, which is one of the most favorite ones right now, is a Marvel-based game.
Okay.
And so whenever you're measuring for that one, you actually have measuring sticks that you touch it to your model,
Yep.
and then whenever your guy moves, you take it and you put them to the end of that measuring stick, and that's as far as it can move.
Okay, yeah.
Most other games, though, however, use measuring sticks. So infantry can move 6 inches, tanks can move 12 inches. And
Okay.
every inside each one of the rule books for each of the armies, it tells you how fast your guys actually move for each model, because they all move different sizes and stuff.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
So, if somebody wanted to contact you at store,
Yeah.
if they were interested in getting involved with it, how can they contact?
The best way is contact us through a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Noble Miniatures. It's pretty easy to find me.
Yep.
We, like I said, we have scheduled demos all over the summer, and we're actually even, if you come in and say I've already ran the demo for it,
Sure.
that's not a problem. I'll set you up. Either I'll run you through a demo, or I'll have
Yep.
a customer who, like my customers are a very good community, and I'll be like, hey guys, I'm busy this day. Could someone run
Yep.
me XYZ through a game? And I've never had a problem with getting someone to learn how to play the game at any time.
So it's everybody's always welcome all the time. That's
All
what it
the
sounds
time,
like.
and the community is incredible. We do painting classes, and I'll have different people coming in to teach how to paint, because
Yep.
the way I paint will be different from the way you paint.
Sure.
But the way you teach,
Yep.
they may learn from you easier than they learn from me, even though we're both
right.
teaching the same
That's
thing.
right,
So the community gets together, and we do quite a lot together. We do events, we do charity events for Extra Life, we do the 24-hour gaming and stuff at the store.
Nice.
We normally try to do the tabletop games first, because your brain needs more power at that point.
That's right.
Towards the end, that's when the video games come in, but
Yeah.
but we do Extra Life events and stuff
Yep.
like that for the community.
That's great. Well, Phil, thank you for coming on the show today and telling us all about Noble Miniatures.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
welcome back. I want to welcome to the show Justin Foley of Justin Foley Entertainment. Yay! Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, Darren.
Justin, tell us all about Justin Foley Entertainment, where it started, what it does, what the plans are.
All right. Well, basically, it started back in 2008 when I was working at a coffee shop, and every summer they do a fundraiser for a charity kind of a thing, and they wanted to do something kind of special. So I dressed up as a clown and just did some balloon animals and stuff. And a number of the regular customers that were coming in, they're like, "Hey, do you do birthday parties?" I'm like, "Well, no, but I can." And I started doing birthday parties, and eventually I was able to leave that job and kind of, stick to doing the birthday parties for a bit. So I had my clown character, I brought in a magician character, and I took on some Star Wars birthday parties as well. And then I kind of stepped away from it for a while, but then I came back into it a few more years ago. Now I'm doing pirate shows. I've brought back the clown. I do the Grim Reaper. So it's not just for kids. It's also for grown-ups as well. But yeah, so I just, that's kind of how it started and where I've gotten to now.
So do you have, there's other sides of the Justin Foley Entertainment too, because I think you mentioned something about event planning or events too?
Yeah,
or?
so we've been involved with some different event planning. So well, you and I, we know each other through Sci-Fi on the Rock, of course, right? And I used to kind of help out with the film festival that was there once upon a time, and then afterwards I kind of branched off and created my own film festival for a year. So that was one of Justin Foley Entertainment's first productions, I guess you could say it.
Good, yeah.
We also got contracted several years ago when Super 7 no longer was a lottery game, and they brought in Lotto Max to the first, for the first of it. We were actually brought in to help out with the St. John's launch.
Okay.
Yep. And yeah, so that's it for the event planning. Now I'm trying to get into doing scavenger hunts, larger scale events,
How would
mini
that work?
carnivals. Well, there's a few different ways that it could work. So you could just, contact us and just ask us, hey, we'd like to do a scavenger hunt for our friend's birthday.
Okay.
And so we would create a scenario for it. So we would put together a package that comes from a fictional law agency. And we will pretend that somebody has died and has left a whole bunch of things for you. And it's all these clues. It's notebooks. There's a key that we don't know what it unlocks or anything like that. And basically the person has to follow the clues all around town or wherever we are, because we can customize it to whomever.
That's right.
And basically they can go in and solve this mystery. And we can change the different themes about it. We can make it a murder mystery. We can make it an unsolved case. We can pretend that a friend has been kidnapped or something. So basically what we try to do is we want to try and change reality a little tiny bit. You got
Almost like a real life scenario.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
it's, the things that you see in movies or in your favorite TV shows and stuff like that. We try to recreate it in the real world so that people can have a taste of something in reality that's just a step outside of reality.
Excellent, sounds great. Now, go back to the birthday parties and the characters again.
Yeah.
So, who are your characters? What's your characters, and what's their names?
So I've got Captain Swashbuckle. He's my pirate character. He teaches the kids how to sword fight. He does treasure hunt, like in their backyard or what have you. I've got the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
He's kind of there for any ages, all ages, but he's there for older people primarily. If you're turning 40, turning 50, or you're retiring or something like that.
What would you do with the Grim Reaper?
So the Grim Reaper comes in and he's got this barrel that's been painted red and it's got these plastic Halloween shackles on it.
Okay.
And it says danger explosive. So the Grim Reaper comes in and he takes the guest of honor and sits them down on the barrel. It's, it's a bomb that's got a tiny firecracker that's attached to it.
Okay.
And he asks a bunch of trivia questions. You get 10 of them right, you win. You've cheated death. If you get 6 questions wrong, because it's a 6-foot fuse. Every question you get wrong, I cut away a foot of the fuse.
Okay.
And if you get your last question wrong, I light the fuse. But there's, like I said, it's a big barrel with only an itty-bitty firecracker on it, so you just get a little snap, cackle, pop, and the thing fizzles out, right?
So what's usually done with the clown parties?
So the clown parties, I'll do a little bit of juggling, play some games with the kids, limbo, play stuff with rubber chickens and a parachute and all that kind of stuff, and some balloon animals as well. You know, just your classic clown fair kind of a thing.
So that's the kids, that's the adults. How about for like teenagers, people 20s and 30s? What do you usually do for those guys?
Well, the scavenger hunts is the one that I'm really focusing on for the mid-age groups,
Okay, yeah.
and I feel like that's something that anybody can enjoy. You can do scavenger hunts for kids, scavenger hunts for adults of any age. I'm also in the process of getting into creating some games. Now, I haven't gotten there 100% yet, but we're really close. I want to start doing some more mysteries at home kind of a thing. So similar to how we would start off the scavenger hunt, you'd get a package with contents that you have to go around and try and find the next clue.
Right.
Instead of having to actually go anywhere, you'll just be given all the materials and you just kind of through logic figure out the next step, and you know you're solving mysteries.
Sure.
And I'm also getting into developing some board games as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so anything that I can do to create entertainment, I'm always looking for and trying to bring to life new ideas.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to get in contact with Justin Foley Entertainment, how do they do it?
Well, they can reach out to us at our website. It's justinfoleentertainment.com. And there's a form on the website where they can email us, or they can call us, because my phone number is on the website as well.
Right.
And yeah, that's for anything from party appearances, mini carnivals I'm starting to put together, carnival games,
Sure.
event planning and logistics, and we're getting into video production as well. So if
Okay.
anybody's looking for promotional video work, happy to help out in that way as well.
Good. Well, Justin, thanks for taking the time to come in and see us today and have a chat with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
And we'll be right back after this. And welcome back. I want to welcome to the show Peter and Jesse from Distorted Theorists.
Thank you. Thanks
Welcome,
to be here.
guys. Alrighty. Okay, tell us what it is.
So,
Plain and simple.
Give it to him, Pete.
myself, so I am Peter Parkour. This is the real Jesse.
I'm the real
Yep.
Jesse.
We are the Distorted Theorists, and what we do locally is we have a small, well, hopefully,
Growing.
yeah, growing. It's a growing YouTube channel of which we do movie reviews, trailer reactions.
Some live streaming. We do some breakdowns, so we will go out and see those blockbusters that everyone's waiting to see. Sometimes we get in before everyone else, and we break it down and do some reviews, mostly non-spoiler, but every now and again we dabble in the spoiler ones a couple weeks later, so we have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, we always have to watch. We've had a couple of oopsie daisies with a couple of our reviews. We're like, we can't say that. Start it over.
Yeah, you
Start
break
it
it up.
over, yeah,
Yeah.
can't say that yet. No. So how did we get started? Go back to the beginning. Whose idea? How did you get started? Was it?
I think it might have been my idea.
Well, I don't know. I think the highway had something to do
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, we were. Well, people have always looked at us like we came together and we've realized people always say about us, "You guys should be on TV. Oh my, you're so funny. Like you guys should be into this or doing videos or doing vlogs and live blogs." So anyway, one day I keep badgering him at the beginning, but one day we were driving. I said, "Peter, I think we're on to something. We should do like a YouTube channel, doing these reactions. You got the voice for it. I got the hand gestures.
I got the nerdiness.
Yeah,
I got the geekiness
right.
down.
And he comes from a gaming background. I come from a very big movie background in our interests, of course.
Sure.
And we were just like, this makes too much sense not to do. So I threw it at him, and you said,
I said, well, I tell you what, I'll give you 2 years.
2 years.
And our plan was, if we hadn't received, we set a goal for 2 years, and
Yeah.
that was 500 subscribers.
500 subscribers
For 2 years.
for 2 years.
And
And we
Good
are
goal.
happy to
well,
report.
Yeah, so in 4 months since we started, we are now sitting, at the time of filming, 569.
Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So we're 4 months in, and at the time, like I said, and it just started taking off. And we were like, wow, we may be onto something, or maybe people were right. You know, maybe we should be doing something on video or television or whatever you want to call it. And the reception has been immaculate. Like, you know, no negative comments. Everyone's just all over the world. We've had comments from Norway, India, like
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
We've had a
just-
cosplayer from Czech Republic reach out to us.
It's
as
just
well.
it's just surreal, and it's all positive. You know, you say like we love you guys and all that, and it's a bit touching, but we try to be modest about it. And we're like, we're still growing, guys. If you could spread the word, great. You know, so
One time it was like if you put off a show somewhere in a theater, you'd like oh, I'm going to get 50 or 60 people, and you were like really happy if someone came from the next town to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now with the internet, it's like
It
you
just-
got the next country watching you. It must feel great though.
But I mean, this is what we did it for. Was you look at do you want to be famous? Do you want to make money? Do you want to have notoriety? Like what are you doing your
right.
project for? And we both knew that we wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
We did want to build that fan base or whatever,
Sure.
notoriety base or whatever. And it's all coming at the one time, and we're happy of where it's going so far. So
And we're still blown away now. And again, with every form of this kind of media, like, and we have our videos that we invest some time into, or a good chunk of time, and just kind of, and then there's other ones that we're like, it's just a throwaway, and they can be a huge hit, and sometimes that happens.
I mean, there's times we go to bed, we post a video at like late at night, 10 o'clock, whatever, and we're like, okay, he leaves because we film at the studio at my place, I call it, and he'll go on and we'll go to bed, and the next morning we've woken up and two of us look at our phones and it's like, you gained 100 subscribers, and we're like, what happened? You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And but the amount of time we've spent on the phone with each other over the last couple of months, just being like, what is happening? And that, like, getting those butterflies, I call it, and like that excitement is exactly what we started.
Pacing the kitchen. All right, I'll start placing out places in Malibu. You start figuring out.
Getting our Hollywood suites ready.
Oh, are we? Okay,
Oh,
well,
yes.
that's you got to have goals now.
You gotta plan ahead. It's part of the vision board.
But
It
yeah,
is.
part
It
of
is, Scott.
But now we're heading at the time. I guess we were heading for greater than 1K. So we'll see where we're at down the road.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're well above where we wanted to be. So,
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You reached goals already.
Yeah.
So go back to a review.
Yep.
New movies coming out.
Yep.
What do we do?
As in the Distorted Theorists?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're one of the movies coming out. You want to see in a long spell. What do you guys do? What do you plan? How's it go?
It's a lot of, there is planning that goes into it, and there's a lot of panic at the same time.
Good.
Yeah.
For instance, we just saw the Matt Reeves' The Batman
Yeah.
that came out, and we lucked into, well, I say we,
Yeah.
Justin managed to snag some seats to an early screening.
The fan first premiere
Yes.
at our local Cineplex.
So going ahead, as soon as we knew about that, we kind of jumped in. Okay, how are we going to do this? Justin managed to show up to the theater before I did, so he was kind of doing some behind-the-scenes work and doing some promotion.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like what you got to do is build some investment. You got to get some excitement going. So
Sure.
Leading up to the event, we posted like we are going live. So I went live from the theater. Now I say I because Peter unfortunately got stuck in traffic, was a little bit behind.
Yeah.
But we went live from the theater itself, and then I have some business cards and some promotional material, like you said. So I knew everyone that was there was for the Batman. Like, why else would you be there? So obviously
Exactly.
their interest matches our interest.
Yep.
Great subscribers, right?
Exactly.
So I just gave out a few business cards, and everyone seems really like, invested. That like, oh, you do YouTube? Like, I don't know. We don't see much of that here. And
You're
speaking
so
of,
brave, Mike.
and speaking of, and anyone can disprove me if they know, but we've done some research locally, and we couldn't find anyone here on the island that is doing the exact same type of YouTube channel that we are. We've seen a couple trailer reaction ones. There are some live streamers, not taking away from anything of them, but rolling it all into one and trying to captivate the audience that we are trying to captivate, we haven't seen anyone yet. So we're excited to possibly be the first ones to do that.
And so with all of that, with the promotion that we do, then we go in and we sit with whoever is going to be coming with us. For some movies, as our wives, or some is a larger group of us. Pandemic providing. And then as soon as the showing is over, we race back to the studio or Batcave, and we try and contain our excitement for what we've seen. So like the Batman was a big one. For Spider-Man, I mean, we weren't able to film that one right away for No Way Home.
And that is some of the tribulations that you find too. Like Peter works in healthcare. I work on Monday to Friday, so our schedules sometimes don't align. As we're so sometimes we are behind the 8 ball. Other times we're ahead of the 8 ball. It's a very strange mix, but
So you've gone to the theater. You got the plan. You said, okay, we're going to go to this movie.
Yep.
We go to the theater. You do your little live thing, like a little teaser. You watch the movie. You come home. What do we do from there?
So
you make your list.
Our first couple of videos were very, and then this happened, and then we liked this, and this person was cool too. So now, after going back and doing a little bit of research, we've tried to have a little bit of a, okay, we want to talk about the cast. We want to talk about this. An actual legit movie review. So we're a little bit more tightened up with some of that.
Yeah.
And then we do it all in one take.
We try. Actually, one of the slogans that we stand by, that we kind of came up in the beginning as a catchphrase, if you will, is we always say at the end of our videos, and always remember, keep it real. And we spell it with R-E-E-L, like a movie reel.
That's right.
And it's just our little tag that we like to spin on. So, but we also stand by that mantra of keep it real, is that we often do our videos in one take, and if we fool up a little bit, we leave it. However, if you do see a cut in our videos, that means that there was a major mess up, or something that we missed completely that definitely should be in the video, and we try to do our best to stitch it as well as possible. So.
Perfect. How can people find you?
They can find us on almost all the socials. We've got YouTube for the Distorted Theorists, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm not going to mention the other site.
Yeah, we got Twitch, but we also are actually converting to YouTube streaming now because our fan base has grown on YouTube so much. And Twitch, we started, on our own type thing, 20 subscribers. But now that we got the fan base, we've switched over to streaming on YouTube. So YouTube is the big driver for us right now. If you want to check us out at the Distorted Theorists on YouTube, apparently we're the first one showing up in the search engine, which is great stuff. You'll find everything there. And from there, we have a link tree that you help create. And it gives you all of our socials, and you can just find us there.
Excellent. So. Well, Peter, the real Jussie.
Yeah,
thank you for being on the show today. We'll look forward to watching your show in the future.
Yeah,
thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this. If you have questions or comments about Pocket Universe, you can email us at darren.pocketuniverse@gmail.com. I want to thank everybody for being on today's show, and make sure you come back next time. Ooh, there we go. You go up there. You go over there. Ah! Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers